everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, January 25th through Sunday, January 31st, 2016. Can you believe how fast the time is flying by? We're already nearing now the end of the first month of the year. So for this week's card reading, we're going to use Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot deck for the main message. And for your special message this week, we're going to be using the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, also by Doreen Virtue. Now, before we get to the astrology for this week, let's go ahead and take a look at what your stones are, your stones of choice for your special message card. I chose stones for the week that all emulated to the throat chakra, because this week we have a lot of planetary energy going on with the planet Mercury, which is the planet that rules communication as well as ideas and thoughts. So your first stone of choice this week is actually blue calcite. And this blue calcite, it's a lovely light blue. And all three of these stones is going to relate to the throat chakra, but the blue calcite specifically is a really gentle, soft kind of energy. And it helps to dissolve anxiety and soothe your nervous tension. It helps with clear communication, and it's good also for recuperation of health imbalances. Your second stone of choice is actually blue coral. Now, blue coral, again, this is relating to communication, throat chakra issues, but coral comes from the sea, so there's also a water kind of element with this blue coral. The blue coral being water, from the water element, from the sea, it's going to relate to the emotions as well. So here we're talking about a balance of the emotional and the mental energies with this particular stone. It's also a stone for peace and wisdom. And then your third stone of choice is blue obsidian. This is beautiful. It's kind of a shiny kind of stone. And the blue obsidian, when we think of normal obsidian, we think of a black stone, which kind of has a mirror-like effect. And this too, you can see if I kind of twist it back and forth, you can see that how it's kind of reflecting the light. But this stone is actually really good for also the third eye as well as the throat chakra. So it helps to aid in astral travel, and it helps with telepathy, which is communication of unspoken, of reading other people's minds or be able to project your thoughts to them. It also helps to open up your aura to accept healing energies. So again, your stones of choice: blue calcite, blue coral, and blue obsidian. Okay, so while you think about what stone of choice you'd like, let's get into the astrology for the week. So we just came off of a full moon last Saturday. That full moon actually was building up throughout the week, with the moon being in Cancer, setting off the Pluto-Uranus square. And then Saturday we have this full moon in Leo, which is a very creative energy. Now we move into Monday, the first day of this particular week, with Mercury turning back to retrograde motion. And I know a lot of you are happy to hear that. So Mercury, again, it's the planet of communication. It's the planet of the mind, of the mental realm. It rules our thoughts, our ideas. It rules brainstorming, and it rules not only communication with other people, but communication as far as within ourselves, towards ourselves. So Mercury now is in direct motion as of Monday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. But it's going to take a little while, a few days, before it actually picks up speed and moves out of what's called the shadow period. So we're still going to be experiencing some Mercury retrograde types of instances or circumstances, if you will. As we move, and I'm going to jump all the way ahead now to Friday, the 29th, because during the middle of the week, Tuesday through Thursday, there's not really a lot going on with the planets. But when we get to Friday, the moon is actually in the sign of Libra, which is the partnership sign, the sign of relationships, whether they be romantic relationships, business partner relationships, our relationships with our friends, our family. And it actually connects with several planets between Friday and Saturday. First, it's creating a challenging aspect to Mercury, that planet that just went to direct motion. Now remember, as I said, Mercury is still really slow. It's not really moving. And so that makes the energy more intense. It heightens that energy of Mercury trying to get its bearings, so to speak, so that it can move forward. Now, with the moon squaring or challenging Mercury, that's going to cause a bit of a challenge, mind versus heart, your logic versus emotions. And again, this is the relationship sign of Libra that the moon is in. So this may bring up some challenges within certain relationships and partnerships in our lives. The moon then goes on to square Pluto, and then it goes on to oppose Uranus. Now, Pluto and Uranus are coming very close together, and although they won't make an exact square, for the whole month of January, it's been very close, and for the whole month of February, it's going to be very close, within about a degree of one another. And Pluto and Uranus is creating, again, this intensity of transformation and change and sudden, unexpected redirections of energy. So here's the moon setting off all of these planets, and then by Saturday, Mercury actually comes together to connect with Pluto again. So because of the Mercury retrograde, I have to say too that Mercury is conjuncting Pluto for quite a long time. Normally, Mercury moves at a faster pace, at a faster rate. And, it conjuncts Pluto, and within the next day or 2 days, it's moved on. But because we had the Mercury retrograde cycle, and Mercury was slowing down and it passed over Pluto, and when it's stationed at 14 to 15 degrees of Capricorn, it's stationed right in a conjunction aspect with Pluto, which is at 15 degrees of Capricorn. And then Mercury turned direct, and again, it's slow moving until it speeds up. So this Mercury-Pluto thing is here with us for quite a while. We're going to feel the intensity of this. And so what does that mean? This is about our powerful thoughts and our powerful intentions and our powerful communications being highlighted right now. And it's a time where there's an opportunity for a lot of transformation and change. Now, this can be really good for your life path, your destiny path, your career path, because you can come up with wonderful, new, brilliant ideas to transform what you're doing and to move forward with whatever your path is all about. This can be really good, or maybe not so good, depending on the circumstances, as far as communications with others, the communications that need to happen, that need to occur, to kind of bring back your sense of power, for you to own your power. So be careful not to be overly dramatic or overly aggressive with your communication. Yes, stand in your truth. Yes, stand in your sense of authority and power, but communicate also with a sense of compassion and unconditional love in your heart. That's going to be the best way for you to have these communications that might be necessary. Okay, and then we move on to Saturday. Okay, that's where actually Mercury and Pluto come together again. Let's move on to Sunday. Sunday is when Mercury then challenges Uranus. Now, again, Pluto and Uranus are creating some big changes. All of January it's done this. There's been a lot of deaths in the media, people that we know. There's been a lot of transformation and change on other levels within the political arena, within a lot of different areas of our lives on a global scale as well as a personal scale. That's going to continue throughout the month of February again, as Pluto and Uranus stay pretty close together. Now, as far as Sunday and Mercury squaring Uranus, by the time we move into next week or into the first week of February, that will start to finally pull apart. Now, again, it might have a little bit longer effect than it normally would, because Mercury is, again, at a slower pace until it picks up speed. So everything that this week that's going on astrologically, in some way relates to Mercury, the planet that just went to direct motion. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the message is from our angels from the Angel Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue. And I already meditated on the week, and I actually pulled four cards. Usually I pull 3, and sometimes there is an extra card, and this is one of those times where I felt like there needed to be an extra card to kind of look at the underlying influence, or to kind of wind up the whole week of energies as we look at each card. So the first card is the Knight of Air. Okay, so very interesting. We're starting out with an air card. The air cards have to do with the mental realm, thoughts, communications, ideas, which is exactly what's going on this week. The message at the top and at the bottom, this card says intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. And at the bottom it says events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options and come up with creative solutions. Now, this is exactly what we need to do with Mercury turning to direct motion and connecting with Pluto and Uranus and the moon in Libra, setting off the Pluto-Uranus square and also squaring Mercury. Now, the symbology, if you look at this card, we have a knight here and he's on a horse. And it almost appears like this horse wants to gallop forward or move forward really quickly, having a struggle or a fight to kind of keep the horse at an even keel, to kind of hold back the horse from moving forward and galloping wildly. And that's kind of where we're at with this week's energy. You need to take time, as this card suggests, to review all of your options before speaking your truth, or think through your ideas and brainstorm perhaps new possibilities and ideas that you didn't even think of yet before making final decisions. Remember, during Mercury retrograde, which we had over the last 3 weeks, it's really not a good time to make a final decision or to sign any contracts or make any major purchases, because Mercury rules all forms of communication and all forms of electronics. So while Mercury is retrograde, those kind of energies, those areas of life, are a little bit unbalanced or unstable. And usually there's more information that's needed. Now that Mercury is turned direct, but again, this week it's coming into connection with some challenging aspects with other planets, you still might want to wait a little bit before charging ahead, okay? So this is where the start of this week with the Knight of Air kind of seems to be showing us, or what it's showing us, or where it's kind of directing us. Let's go ahead and look at the second card. Isn't that interesting? We have another air card, okay? This is the Four of Air. The Four of Air says time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision, okay? That's going to be the key phrase. Allow more time before making a decision. And it also says meditation can provide answers. So if you think of the number 4 is about security and structure. It's about having a solid foundation. And sometimes it can mean that we're stuck. Sometimes when I think of the number 4 and the energy vibration of the number 4, it can mean challenges or feeling stuck or held back in some way. And again, this is feeling challenged with the mental mind, with our thoughts, with our communications. That's kind of what this card is. But again, it says take more time. Take more time before making a decision if you can. Now, if you can't, then I would suggest to do what the last sentence says and meditate. Meditate to get more clear answers. Meditate so that you are in a more secure and stable place so that you can make the best decisions possible for yourself. Let's go ahead and take a look at the third card. Okay, the third card, interesting, Major Arcana number 6 with the Lovers, Archangel Raphael. And the message at the bottom says, intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, and good health. Okay, so I'm getting that there's 2 different things going on here with this Lovers card. Obviously, we mostly think of relationships when we look at the Lovers card. And that is indeed true, and it can be true that this is dealing with partnerships. But again, not necessarily just romantic partnerships. This is also business partnerships as well. So as we move forward, we want to weigh all communications and all thoughts before deciding or making a decision based on maybe a relationship matter, a business relationship, a romantic relationship. Now, this comes up in the astrology with the moon in Libra, and that was on Friday, going into Saturday, where that moon in Libra is dealing with emotional partnership issues and staying balanced. So I think the big message here is to stay balanced and make sure that you're weighing all your options and weighing all your decisions before actually making a final one. The other thing that comes up with the Lovers card, the other traditional meaning in the tarot of the Lovers, besides being about relationship, it's about choice. Now, this is usually talking about a choice between two different paths, which again goes back to making a decision. But sometimes it's not always about relationships either. So I'm going to also bring in that this is about our destiny path in general. It's about who we are as a soul and what direction we're going as a soul, which is something that we've all been contemplating since the beginning of this new year of 2016. We've been thinking about, where we've been in 2015, how much we've accomplished, what new directions we want to go into in 2016, what we desire to manifest, and putting out those intentions for the new year. So this is also, again, saying that there's choices to be made, important life-changing choices or life-changing decisions that need to be made, just in regards to, again, our destiny path. Again, to carefully weigh your decisions, okay? Now, let's go ahead and look at the fourth card and see what that is all about. Okay, we have another air card. So again, Mercury being the significant planet of the week and the air suit being the significant suit, the mental realm, very on point here. The Eight of Air says, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, and afraid to take action. Now, the number 8 in numerology is all about empowerment. It's about us standing in our power, claiming our power or taking our power back if we've been disempowered in any way, and then standing true to our own spiritual power and using that power wisely. So again, this is power on the mental realm. And this is talking about those disempowering circumstances or situations, or even disempowering relationships, to where we're afraid to break loose or break free. We're afraid to empower ourselves. We're afraid, just like this unicorn, it's breaking free from the rest of the unicorns back here in the group. And it took a lot of courage for this unicorn to do that, because unicorns want to be together. They want to be in a group. We want to merge with friends or lovers or people of like minds. That's our natural inclination in relationships. But sometimes those relationships or those circumstances become disempowering to us. But sometimes we are afraid to take our power back and to move forward. So this, again, this winding up of this energy is saying it's time to break free. It's time to really move into your confidence, into your courage. It's time to step into your truth and own that truth and empower yourself and move forward like you want to in whatever area of life this is relating to you. Okay, very strong message. So let's go ahead and see what your special message card is from the Archangel Michael Oracle deck based on your stone of choice. So the first one, I'm going to give these a little bit of a shuffle here, and we're going to call in all of the archangels, but especially Archangel Michael, to bring forth whatever special message is in your highest and best interest. And the first stone of choice was for those of you that chose the blue calcite. Blue calcite. Archangel Michael says detach from the situation, okay? So this can mean one of two things, okay? First of all, we go back to that Eight of Air. And the Eight of Air says to break free, to empower yourself and break free of whatever disempowering situation you've maybe found yourself in or that you are in. And Archangel Michael is supporting that by saying, okay, it is time to break free. It's time to detach from that disempowering situation or relationship and move forward. Now, the other thing that this can mean is that all of this mental energy, which is confusing because of the Mercury retrograde cycle, and it's challenging because of the planets that it's connecting with this week, is that we have to detach from the fear or the anxieties or the doubts of our ego mind, of our human mind, and move into a higher realm of thinking, which is the higher mind, our higher soul self and connecting with that energy so that we can kind of bring forth through meditation and wisdom the truth of where it is we need to go next, or the decision that we need to make. So this can also be talking about detaching from negativity of the mind, and even detaching from negativity around you, from people or situations that are, again, disempowering and negative. So dual meaning here for this card for the blue calcite people. And then for those of you that chose the blue coral, okay, blue coral people are next. So as we shuffle this and we ask Archangel Michael to show us what the message is for the blue coral people, and we always look for cards when we're shuffling that kind of pop up or stand out in some way as we're shuffling. And actually this one here is calling to me. So this one says, guarded and protected, okay? Archangel Michael is guiding and guarding and protecting you this week through all of this challenging energy, through making the decisions that need to be made. So what I feel like is, if there is a huge decision to be made, release your worries, because Archangel Michael is going to assist you. I feel like he's going to assist you and protect you in making the right and most appropriate and proper decision for you. I also feel like you need to call upon him, because in protecting you from some of the lower vibrational energies of the mental realm that, again, through your anxieties and fears might be cropping up, feel like you need to call on him to pull cords. Ask him to pull cords between you and people or circumstances or situations, or even your own emotions and thoughts that need to be released. And he's standing there with his sword in his hand. He's like getting ready to kind of pull that sword out of his sheath, and he's getting ready to kind of cut away those cords that may be challenging to you in this week. Let me see if there's anything else that calls to me in this card. I also feel like I'm drawn to the fact that he's wearing green, and this is, to me, is relating to the heart chakra. So for those of you that are dealing with relationship, again, whether romantic, business, or otherwise, call upon Archangel Michael to specifically, again, pull the cords, but to the heart chakra, the emotional chakra, to kind of help you to heal that area, to disengage from the disempowering energies that are connected to the heart chakra, and to also surround you with the white light of protection, especially in the heart chakra area this week. Okay, and then for those of you that chose that blue obsidian, okay, let's go ahead and shuffle and ask for Archangel Michael to show us blue obsidian people. Sense of humor. Well, I can see where this would be a message, because it might be almost a little difficult and challenging to have a sense of humor this week with some of the energies that are going on with communications and whatnot. So I feel like this is telling us that as we lighten our energy by having a sense of humor, now maybe we're not going to have a sense of humor with the other people that are involved in these difficult communications, although it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to lighten the mood with like more of a joking style communication, not in a way that's going to put them on the defense, but in a way to just lighten the mood and lighten the energy. Because again, that lighter energy and having that sense of humor and laughing and kind of having fun even amongst challenges and difficulties kind of helps things to move in a much better way. It helps healing to take place in a much faster way. But also to have a sense of humor within your own self. Okay, it's like you feel challenged, you feel confused, you feel a heaviness mentally and emotionally. And whether you need to watch a funny movie or read some funny jokes or get together with somebody that always raises your spirits, this is saying that as you lighten the energy within yourself, then everything going on in your environment and around you isn't going to seem as difficult or challenging or as foreboding. And really it's not, because really the things of the mental mind or the ego mind usually are just an illusion. The fears that we come up with, the anxieties, the doubts that we feel, usually it is created in our human mind, and it's not really reflective of what the real truth of the matter is. And that real truth is that you're a part of the divine, you're connected with God source energies, and in that you have this magical energy within you to recreate your circumstances and to recreate yourself. So keep a sense of humor this week and always. Okay, so I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. Want to take a quick moment and thank all of you that comment on my posts and on Facebook. For those of you that have sent in donations lately for me, thank you so much. That's really helpful for me in continuing to do these weekly and monthly angel card readings for you on YouTube, as well as writing the monthly articles and doing the daily Facebook posts. So thank you to all of those that sent in your donations. And if any of you out there would like a personal reading or healing session, I would love to be able to connect with you in a more personal way, to look at your astrological blueprint, to look at your soul energy, your name vibration, to see how all of these universal energies are affecting you right now as you move forward in this new year of 2016. So check out my services at sacredsoulempowerment.com. And until next week, much love and light to all. Blessings.